The private dining room at Le Bernardin was everything Dad had dreamed of for his 60th birthday: crystal chandeliers casting warm light over pristine white tablecloths, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Manhattan's glittering skyline, and the kind of impeccable service that comes with Michelin 3-star dining. The evening had cost me $3,000 to arrange, but seeing the joy on my father's face as he savored his favorite lobster dish made every penny worth it. "This is incredible, sweetheart," Dad said, reaching over to squeeze my hand. "I can't believe you managed to get us a private room here. Don't they have a 6-month waiting list?" "Something like that," I replied with a smile, not mentioning that I'd gotten the reservation through my company's corporate account, the same account that had catered 3 major events here in the past month totaling over $500,000. My older sister Amanda set down her wine glass with a sharp clink against the table. At 32 she was a successful marketing director at a prestigious Manhattan firm, and she never let anyone forget it. Her husband Derek, an investment banker, nodded in agreement as she spoke. "Jessica, we need to have a serious conversation," Amanda said, her voice taking on that condescending tone I'd grown to hate over the years. "On Dad's birthday?" I asked, hoping to deflect whatever criticism was coming. "Especially on Dad's birthday. Look around this room. Do you have any idea how much this dinner is costing? Le Bernardin doesn't do casual dining. The wine alone probably costs more than your monthly rent." Mom, elegant in her pearl necklace and navy dress, looked uncomfortable. "Amanda, maybe this isn't the time." "No, Mom, someone needs to say it." Amanda's voice was getting louder, drawing glances from our waiter who was preparing the next course. "Jessica is 26 years old, living in a studio apartment in Queens, working some vague consulting job that none of us understand, and yet she's constantly trying to pay for expensive dinners, buying elaborate gifts, acting like she has money she clearly doesn't have." "I do have money," I said quietly. Derek laughed, the sound harsh and mocking. "Really? What's your annual income, Jessica?" "Because Amanda makes $180,000 a year plus bonuses. I make $350,000. We know what real money looks like." "Stop pretending you have money, Jessica," Amanda continued, her voice now carrying across the dining room. "It's embarrassing. For all of us. You're going to end up in debt trying to keep up appearances." My younger brother Michael, 24 and fresh out of his MBA program, nodded seriously. "Amanda's right. I've been tracking my expenses since graduation, and I know exactly what it costs to live in New York. There's no way a freelance consultant can afford dinners like this." "Freelance consultant?" I repeated, genuinely confused. "Whatever it is you do with computers," Amanda said dismissively. "The point is, you need to stop this fantasy and start living within your means. Dad's birthday dinner should be at a nice chain restaurant, not the most expensive place in Manhattan." Dad looked stricken. "If this is too much." "It's not too much for me," I said firmly. "This is exactly where I wanted to celebrate Dad's birthday." "With what money?" Amanda demanded. "Your credit cards are probably maxed out paying for this charade." "I'm not using credit cards." Derek pulled out his phone. "You know what? Let's settle this right now. Show us your bank account balance. If you really have money, prove it." "Derek," Mom said sharply, "that's inappropriate." "No, it's necessary," Amanda said. "Jessica needs a reality check before she ruins her financial future trying to impress us." I looked around the table at my family, these people I loved dearly who had supported me through college and celebrated my achievements, but who had somehow concluded that I was living beyond my means and heading for financial ruin. "You really think I can't afford this dinner?" I asked. "We know you can't afford this dinner," Amanda said. "The question is whether you're finally ready to admit it." The waiter approached our table with the dessert course, an elaborate chocolate soufflé that was Dad's favorite. As he set it down, I could see him trying to pretend he hadn't heard the increasingly tense conversation. "Actually," I said, reaching into my purse, "let me prove you right." I pulled out my Black American Express card, the invitation-only Centurion card that required a $10,000 annual fee and had no preset spending limit. The card was made of titanium and had a distinctive weight that somehow felt reassuring in my hand. "Oh please," Amanda rolled her eyes. "A black card? How much did you pay for that fake?" "It's not fake, Jessica," Derek said with exaggerated patience. "Real black cards require you to charge at least $250,000 per year. They don't just give them to anyone. I know what they require. I handed the card to our waiter, who accepted it professionally despite the obvious family tension. For the full bill, please. Of course, Ms. Anderson. As he walked away, Amanda shook her head sadly. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're so desperate to appear successful that you're using fake credit cards. Do you have any idea what the penalty is for credit card fraud? It's not fraud. Then why are you so nervous? Michael observed. You look like you're about to throw up. I wasn't nervous about the card being fake. I was nervous about what was going to happen when it got declined for an entirely different reason. A reason my family would never expect. 5 minutes later, our waiter returned, looking apologetic and slightly confused. Ms. Anderson, I'm sorry, but there seems to be an issue with your card. The table fell silent. An issue? I asked, though I had a pretty good idea what the issue was. It was declined. Would you like to try another payment method? The silence that followed was deafening, then Amanda burst out laughing. Oh my God, Jessica. Your fake black card got declined. This is priceless. Derek was laughing too. A fake Centurion card that doesn't even work. That's a new low. I told you she was pretending, Amanda said to our parents, who looked mortified. Now we're all going to be stuck with this bill because Jessica had to play dress up. Michael was shaking his head. Jess, this is seriously messed up. Using fake credit cards, lying about having money. I wasn't lying, I said, but my voice was lost in their laughter and criticism. Ma'am, the waiter said quietly, should I bring the bill to someone else? Just give me a minute, I said, pulling out my phone. What are you doing? Amanda asked, still giggling. Calling your credit card company to ask why your fake card doesn't work. I was about to respond when a man in an expensive suit hurried into our private dining room. I recognized him immediately, Thomas Chin, the restaurant's general manager, who I'd worked with extensively on several large catering events. Ms. Anderson, he said, slightly out of breath. I'm so sorry. I just heard about the payment issue. The laughter at our table stopped abruptly. Thomas, I said calmly, is there a problem with the payment system? No, the system is fine. The issue is that we still owe you $500,000 from last month's catering contract. Your black card was declined because our accounting department flagged it. We can't charge someone who we already owe money to. The silence that fell over our table was absolute. I could hear the soft jazz music playing in the main dining room, the distant clink of silverware, the gentle hum of conversation from other tables. But at our table, nothing. $500,000? Dad whispered. From the Morrison Industries Gala, the Goldman Sachs private dinner, and the United Nations reception, Thomas explained, consulting his tablet. All catered through your company, Anderson Events. We've been trying to process the payment, but your accounting department said to hold the check until after the quarterly review. That's fine, Thomas. Just comp tonight's dinner against the outstanding balance. Of course, Ms. Anderson. Again, my sincere apologies for the confusion. He hurried away, leaving us in stunned silence. Anderson Events? Mom asked weakly. Pie company, I said simply. Your company, Amanda repeated, her voice barely audible. The event planning and catering business I've been building for the past 4 years. Derek was staring at me like I'd grown a second head. You own an event planning company? I own the largest luxury event planning company on the East Coast. We handle corporate galas, private parties, weddings, and cultural events for high-net-worth clients and Fortune 500 companies. But you said you were a consultant, Michael said. I said I consult with people about events. Which is technically accurate. Amanda's face had gone completely white. How large is the largest luxury event planning company? I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app, turning the screen so they could all see it. Last year's revenue was $47 million. This year we're on track for $68 million. $68 million, Dad said faintly. Dollars. Our client list includes 12 Fortune 100 companies, 43 high-net-worth individuals with assets over $50 million, and we're the exclusive event planners for the United Nations, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and the New York Philharmonic. The Metropolitan Museum, Mom whispered. You know that charity gala you attended last month? The one for cancer research that raised $12 million? I planned that event. Derek was frantically typing on his phone. Anderson Events. Holy shit. You're Jessica Anderson? The Jessica Anderson. I'm a Jessica Anderson. I don't know if I'm the Jessica Anderson. Forbes 30 under 30, he read from his phone. Named one of New York's most influential event planners. Estimated net worth of $25 million. $28 million as of last quarter, I corrected quietly. Amanda looked like she was going to be sick. $28 million? Plus the value of the business itself, real estate holdings and investment portfolio. But you live in Queens, Michael said weakly. I live in a penthouse in Long Island City with a private terrace overlooking Manhattan. The building has its own helipad. Helipad. It's convenient for getting to events in the Hamptons. The waiter came back with a bottle of champagne. Compliments of the house, Ms. Anderson, he said. Manager Chen sends his apologies for the earlier confusion. He poured the champagne. The table fell silent. My family just stared, trying to process what they'd learned. Dad finally spoke. You're worth $28 million? And you let us think you were struggling? I never said I was struggling, I replied. You live simply. You dress modestly. You drive a normal car, Amanda said. I live simply because I work long hours. I dress modestly because clients need focus on their events, not me. And I drive a normal car because it's reliable. Mom's voice trembled. But why didn't you tell us? Because I wanted you to love me for who I am, not what I have. I wanted to succeed on my own. Derek frowned. But we don't have any connections in event planning. Exactly. That's how I knew my success was mine alone. Amanda kept scrolling through her phone. You planned the Bloomberg Foundation Gala? The one in Vanity Fair. And the Rockefeller wedding, the Goldman Sachs anniversary and the UN 75th celebration, I said. The UN one? Michael asked. That was on the news. The most expensive event ever. $12 million budget. 6 months of work. And you planned it? I did. And over 200 other events in 4 years. Dad reached for my hand. I'm proud of you, sweetheart. But why keep it secret? Because I was afraid of this, I said softly. I didn't want money to change how you saw me. You're our daughter, Mom said. Would you have said that an hour ago when you thought I was broke? No one answered. We all knew. Amanda sighed. I lectured you about money and you're richer than all of us combined. You were trying to help, I said. By humiliating you. By caring about me, I corrected. Derek looked up. This article says you have 200 employees. 237 now, I said. We just hired a creative director. You have employees? Offices? Michael asked. Yes. Manhattan, the Hamptons, and a warehouse in Queens. Amanda laughed. And we thought you were broke. Not broke, I smiled. Just private. Thomas Chin returned. Ms. Anderson, your bill is covered. Anything else tonight? Yes, I said. Book the private wine cellar for next month. I'm throwing my parents' anniversary party. 50 guests. 100. I'm inviting everyone. He nodded. Consider it done. Mom started crying. A surprise party? 35 years deserve something special, I said. Jazz trio, your favorite flowers, Dad's dessert. But the cost, Dad began. Dad, I smiled. I plan $12 million events. This one's priceless. Because you're rich, Amanda teased. Because you're my family, I said. Dad raised his glass. His hands shook a little. To my daughter, Jessica, who's been surprising us for years. To family, I said. To family, everyone echoed. Michael asked, that black card that got declined? It's real, I said. Sometimes it gets declined because the merchant owes me money. Amanda laughed. My sister, the secret millionaire. Not a secret anymore. Mom looked at me. Are you happy? I nodded. I love what I do. I love creating perfect events, making people happy and being able to give you something special. Dad smiled. At Lou Bernardine, no less. The best restaurant in New York for the best parents, I said. Amanda clinked her glass. To Jessica Anderson, our family's surprise success. Mom smiled. To Jessica, our daughter. When we left the restaurant, the night air felt lighter. The truth was out. And somehow it made everything I'd built feel more real. Amanda linked arms with me. Next time, maybe tell us you're a millionaire before the card gets declined. Deal, I laughed. As long as you keep worrying about me. Always, she said. Sometimes the best gift you can give your family isn't money. It's honesty. Even when that honesty comes with a $28 million surprise.